Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm really tired. Why am I so freaking tired? Because I just spent the last 2 weeks in here in complete isolation making content for the next month. That's because I don't want you guys to get bored. I'm going on what's going to be quite the little journey over the course of end of January and all of February, and I needed to get content done so you guys don't get bored and run away and don't come back to the show. So I'm happy to report that yes, the show will not be slowing down, although I really do need a freaking nap. Before I get in and show you guys what's up, I figured I'd do a little life update about what's happened on the show in the last year and what I plan to do this year and all that kind of good stuff. So let's just get right into it here. Made a bunch of notes. So it's been a hell of a year. It kind of really surprised me on a number of fronts. You guys never cease to keep surprising me, which is awesome. But what kind of blew me away is just the overall positive response I've gotten on my guitar reviews. That's something I never really expected to do. You guys have been very supportive in my pursuit of becoming a better guitar player to help keep you guys entertained. And you guys really do love the honest, no bullshit kind of review style that I do when it comes to guitars. In fact, my biggest video of the year was the Dave Mustaine V review. And that kind of blew me away. I was not expecting that. So thank you for that. In fact, most of the big videos that I did throughout the year were all guitar reviews. Harley Benton's, Epiphone V's, LTD V's, you name it. You guys watched it and you guys really enjoyed it. So I'm going to try and do more regular guitar reviews on the show because that really seems to be what you guys really enjoy. Another big sleeper hit for me, though, was one that was completely out of left field, which was my guide to taking band photos. You really did seem to enjoy that one as well. So if you'd like to see more photography and video tips on the show, let me know in the comments because I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing suggestions. And if I can work it out in one way or another, I'll try and make that happen because I love camera gear. I love doing lighting, all kinds of cool stuff. Got myself a real cool light in here. This is an Intellitrack LC160 that I got myself as a Christmas present. And I got myself a pair of these. And one of the big things I'm going to do this year when I get back from my adventures is I'm going to do not a studio tour video. Everybody always requests that. I was like, Clinty, can you do a studio tour video? And it's been a number of years since I've done one. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do a studio makeover video because this year I'll have been in this control room for 20 years. And I think it's time it got a facelift. And, the primary focus of this room has changed over the years and it's become much more of a video production studio. So I need to make some adjustments. The cost of real estate is astronomical right now. So just going out and buying a new building with more space seems like it might be a good way to throw away a lot of money. So instead, I think I'm going to remake the control room. We're going to do a few things a little bit differently. We're going to rearrange things in here for efficiency, for filming and that kind of thing. And you're going to see some major changes. And I got to thank my friend Andy Sneap for that idea of him letting me into his studio and doing an interview. And like I said, I've made a few lists here. This kind of comes into this. What was my proudest moment of 2022? And that was getting to do an interview with Andy Sneap. If you haven't watched that video, please check it out. That was super cool. Andy's just such an awesome guy, and him letting us into the studio to film and talk all about his methodology was great because he's inspired so many of us over the years to become better producers. So Andy, thank you so much for that. You are a gentleman indeed. And my worst performing video of the year, and one of the videos I worked the hardest on actually, was the history of recording part 2, where we looked at the invention of the microphone. Turns out you guys just don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, which I find is kind of a drag. I'm a big fan of history, and getting into the history of the tech of recording I thought would have been really cool, but that particular video series didn't do so well. Turns out you guys would rather I scream about shitty paint on expensive guitars. All right, you guys want it? You guys are gonna get it. Cool. Nothing that blew me away was just the overall amazing response on my Monday mix review live shows. You guys have come back week after week after week after week and really made a lot of cool things happen on the show, like the aforementioned Mustaine review, the LTD review. So many guitars got reviewed this year that were completely independently funded by you guys. So here's how it works. If you guys want to hear your mix reviewed by somebody, come hang out on Mondays, bring a song, send me a donation. That money goes right back into the show so I can do independent purchases of certain pieces of music gear and give it to you straight. Really love doing things like that way. I love working independent of companies, whatever possible. And I've got you guys to thank for that. And for that, I am absolutely grateful. A video that surprised me the most had to be that Celestian Blackback video. I was not expecting to get Van Halen one tone, at least not be able to dial it in so freaking easily. I just was kind of browsing through the local classifieds, found a couple of Celestian Blackbacks, looked online, didn't see a lot of information, and so I went and bought them. I thought, okay, what the hell? Looked up the serial numbers. They were from 1977, got some feedback from Celestian. Apparently they're the same as the greenbacks. They just ran out of the green plastic rings that they used to put on the back of the speakers, so they used black ones instead. Got them installed in that happy cab, dialed it in. I'm like, oh, this is sounding familiar. And I was really happy with the results. So yeah, there you go. Sometimes it's not all the stuff that conventional wisdom thinks. It might just be the speaker. What a radical idea. And as for what video I enjoyed making the most in 2022, it had to have been the video on the new Celestian Vintage 30s, the ones that have been coming out in the last couple of years from the Chinese factory, because they're absolutely spectacular. They're easy to mic up and they sound absolutely magnificent. And that was a great find, you know, because I've struggled with vintage 30s for like the last 15 years, as I'm sure most of us have, because something happened after 2004 when they shifted production. They just didn't sound as good. They had a nasty bump in the top end, and unboxing these and installing, going, oh, what's going on here? That was a lot of fun, I gotta admit, and that's one of the reasons why I love this job. So, on that note, here's what's coming up for me over the next 5-6 weeks, something like that. So on January the 30th, I'm going to be on the 70,000 tons of metal cruise. And that's for a week. We're going from like Miami to Bimini and back. I mean, like not a very long cruise, that's for sure. But it's 4 or 5 nights or something like that of nothing but metal bands. It should be a lot of fun. Apparently Nightwish is going to be on the bill and a whole bunch of other bands. It should be an absolute blast. I went there in 2020, just before the pandemic. We did it and we just had an absolute riot. The people are absolutely incredible. So looking forward to hanging out with everybody again. We had such a blast. If you haven't got your tickets yet and you're thinking about doing it, do it. You will not regret it. Trust me, it is so much fun. After that, and this is the big one here because Henning's been busting his ass on this one, I'm not flying home. I'm flying to Manila in the Philippines. And I'm going to be going to this little island not too far from El Nido. So I'm going to be going there because Henning got this insane idea to rent an island for a couple of weeks and do like a guitar YouTube event there. So we're going to have our own private island and we're going to sit around the beach and do nothing but hang out and make guitar videos for 2 weeks. I'm hoping it doesn't devolve into Lord of the Flies, honestly. Hopefully we don't kill each other. So the personalities going to be there are, we've got Andy the Guitar Geek, Carlos Enseño. He's a Spanish language YouTuber and he's got like 3 million subscribers or something like that. Colin Scott's going to be there. Of course, myself, Henning Pauly, Jake Lee, Perfecto Di Castro, Ryan Burke, and Tom James. So we're all going to be sharing this island. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. And most of all, I'm hoping we get along and don't wind up wanting to kill each other. Now, I don't know how the hell Henning pulled this off, but for the island event, we've got all these sponsors who are going to be looking after us. They've given us gear to use and guitars to play and all that stuff. And the cool thing is we're going to be giving away all of the instruments at the end of the event to like local kids and that kind of stuff. So they've got something to play. I thought that was a really nice gesture on the part of the brands that we're going to make that happen. I think that's really cool. Hopefully we can make somebody's life just a little better. So after that, on the 15th, we're going to fly to Manila and hang out in Manila for a couple days. And we're going to be doing some fan meetups and all of us are going to be at like this, going to this guitar store of some sort and hanging out, making some appearances. I'll have some more announcements on the show. That's another thing I'm thinking on doing is like, if you guys want to see daily shorts from the island and the boat, that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments below because maybe I can do some daily content just on the shorts and see how it goes. Then I got the insane idea. I'm like, hey, we're not too far from Japan. Maybe we should go to Japan for a week. And Henning's like, I am listening. So yeah, on February the 18th, we're going to fly to Tokyo and we're going to spend 3 nights there. And then we're going to spend a couple nights in Osaka. So we're going to go check out some guitar manufacturers along the way and just go see the sites and take in some of that incredible Japanese culture. And Henning was the one who suggested we go to Osaka for a couple days as well. I've never been. I'm like, sure, what the hell? Let's go check it out, see what it's all about. I'm sure it'll be amazing. So yes, from February 18th to the 23rd, I will be in Japan. So if anybody in Japan watches this, we should be I would imagine we're going to do a meetup in Tokyo at some point, somewhere around the 18th or 19th, something like that. So just keep your eyes open. Let me know if you guys want to see that happen, and we will make that happen. And then I fly home once again. So what I want to do this year, though, in terms of doing the show is, I want to do the studio makeover video. I've given some great thought about how I can maximize the space I've got here and make it as efficient as possible. I'm probably going to get a new desk in here. We're going to rearrange a lot of stuff and, like I said, just make space much more available for shooting and, doing unboxing and table shots and all that kind of stuff. But as for the show itself, I definitely want to explore new speaker brands and maybe some speaker brands that might be a little bit off the beaten path and explore some guitar sounds that way. If I can make it happen, I want to do guitar reviews at least once a week or every other week. I've already talked to a couple of manufacturers. I know Spectre is super interested in doing more videos with me after the video I did on this amazing V. So if you'd like to see more Spectres on the show, I think that's gonna happen. The other thing I'm gonna want to get into, though, is maybe exploring a little bit more with the AI technology and how it applies to audio production, because some really cool stuff's been coming out. I got a video coming up in a couple of days on how to extract things out of mixes and that kind of stuff off finished mixed and mastered songs. Pretty cool tech, I gotta say, and you can do some really cool stuff with it, like figure out how to get guitar sounds to sound like they do on certain records. That I've never actually seen before, and believe me, it definitely shortcuts a whole bunch of the learning processes. Anyway, I think AI is going to be the future, whether we like it or not, and hopefully it makes our jobs easier, but I think as technology advances, you're gonna be doing much more home recording and less going into studios. But speaking of studios, I also wanna do something else. I want to find a band that I can bring into a studio in Toronto and do a song live off the floor without a metronome. Now, I talked to a couple of different artists and producers and whatnot, and the band that did that Iron Maiden cover that I did the live mix on one night, they had a great point. They said they initially tried tracking it to a metronome, and it just sounded like German power metal. They turned off the metronome, and suddenly there was the groove. So that's what I think I want to do. Some of the greatest records ever were done live off the floor with no metronome and just the band rocking the fuck out. I want to do that this year. I want to get a studio in Toronto and bring a band in that can really kick ass and pull it off with no metronome and make a course about that and show you guys step by step how it works. Because I think we really do kind of tend to lose something with some of this technology when we use it the wrong way. Like, the technology is amazing and it allows us to do some great stuff like, long distance collaborations and stuff like that. But I find the more that we do that, the less we're getting into a room and working together as musicians and working off one another. I think it might be time for the pendulum to swing back the other way and bring some much needed chaos into rock and roll. All right, that's enough for my rambling for now. Thanks for watching and all that great stuff. And if you guys want to see daily updates from my travels on the YouTube Shorts, I'll make that happen. Please leave a comment below and we'll see what's up. Take care.